What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Nice guy driver, William Bootsy Blandon. Let's talk about it. This is only my idea of what I think the perfect rideshare company should look like. Before I get into that, though, I just want to say, as far as these protests are concerned, I think the best way to protest in general, not just for the strike, I think the best way we could protest as drivers is to stop taking these low ball offers. I'm usually talking under $5. Like, Lyft is ridiculous in my area. Granted, I don't know where you are. I'm in Connecticut, but I'm seeing Lyft rides a few minutes around the corner under $4. Under $4. To me, that's ridiculous. No ride should be under $5 minimum. Period. But I want to share my idea with you guys because I'm not afraid of anybody taking the idea, because in all honesty, the likelihood of me even pulling it off, and it's my idea, is probably 1 in a million. But I wanted to open up your guys' minds to start thinking like entrepreneurs and start thinking, oh, what if I am the guy to come up with the new company? What if I'm not just a complainer? Because, people want to call us complainers, and every negative rideshare driver has seen this comment. Oh, why don't you just go out and go get a 9-to-5? Obviously, because it's not flexible, and usually I can make more money than the average 9-to-5 unless I further my education. I hate that comment. I absolutely hate when people put that. I usually will leave it up, but I hate it. And people that do that usually aren't drivers or weren't ever drivers. They'll say stop complaining and just go get a 9-to-5. Like 9-to-5s are out here readily paying more than a livable wage. But here's my idea. I'm not afraid to share it because, in all honesty, again, like I said, it's probably going to take a lot of time. It is going to take money, but I can tell you how you can get the money. But here's what it is. This is going to be a true middleman, a true technology company. Because in my opinion, Uber and Lyft is not a true middleman. They're more like a automated taxi service that's trying to control you and is like your boss. I think the perfect rideshare company is going to be truly just a middleman and not actually a rideshare company at all, but truly a technology-based app designed where regular guys that want to start their own individual service or fleet is the middleman for that. And up front, I would say go find a commercial insurance company to work with. And keep in mind, obviously, you can't compete with Uber and Lyft in the beginning stages, but you can compete with the local drivers in your area. And they're not going to be your enemies. They're going to be your friend once you get this up and rolling. I would say go out and find a commercial company that you could partner with. Let them know up front what you're trying to do. Try to get them to get a affordable rate, just affordable rate for commercial insurance, because each one of these drivers is going to be truly an independent contractor. You're not going to be their boss in this app. This app is strictly designed to match drivers with passengers in your local area at first. Now, my idea is, and feel free to hit me in the comments if you think the amounts should be different in your opinion. But I think the minute you set up this app, Again, you're going to refer out the insurance part because everybody's going to be their own driver. But the minute you get on this app, you're going to charge each driver subscription. It's going to be a flat rate, say $20 a day. You got to start thinking like the owner of this company. Pretend it's your company. You're starting it. So you want to be fair to drivers, but you also want to make $1 million company. Walk with me. I'm gonna get there. Up front, when a driver goes on the app, they're charged an upfront fee, say $20. They got to put in their charge information every day. Only gets charged when they go on for the first time. So if you're somebody that doesn't get on the app all day, it doesn't charge you. That's very important because you don't want to be charging people daily and they're not using the app. It's only when you go on for the first time that it charges you $20 within the 8-hour period, say. So every 8 hours when you go on, it charges you. So, and obviously if you stay on past 8, it's going to charge you. That's how that's going to work. But it's going to prompt you to submit your payment. So it'll store the card information or your bank, but it doesn't charge you until you hit submit. And then it opens up the app, allows you to get on the platform. Now, in addition to that, this is not going to be charged to the driver. This is going to be charged to the passenger. A small one-time fee. Not all these other bunch of little fees, because you notice they got a bunch of fees. There's a booking fee, there's this fee, there's that fee. Just one-time booking fee of $2.50 gets charged from the passenger, not the driver. And the minimum ride, this will eliminate a lot of time wasters too. And I don't think it's gonna you're not gonna make money from it. You're still gonna make money from this. But the minimum ride, so the smallest ride anybody can order, is still gonna pay the driver $10. You know, the average 10-minute ride around the corner or the average 5-minute ride. So let's eliminate people that are literally want to do a 3-minute ride. It's going to eliminate some of those. But the drivers are going to make more money. So in other words, the minimum ride to the customer is going to be $12.50. That's the minimum. Now on average, it's going to be around $1 a minute. It's going to charge the customer. So the driver's going to make on average about $1 a minute. Yeah, it's going to be charge about $1 a minute on average. I don't think customers are going to flip out about paying this amount, because when you really think about it, Uber and Lyft is charging the customer a lot already anyways. It's just that we're not seeing it as the driver. Because I know from my area to New York, I know they're getting like $200, you know, from these customers to go to New York. And if you're lucky, you'll see $75 of that. So I don't think the customer is going to have a problem paying these fees. So on average, a 30-minute ride, it's going to cost about $30, you know, maybe $33 for the customer. I don't think they're going to complain about that, but the driver is going to get the bulk of the money because you're only paying up front the first time, and then that booking fee, let's call it, it's coming from the passenger. And then obviously you want upfront fares. So you'll show the driver a brief upfront of what he's going to be paid. But internally, he can go on the app and he can see exactly what the passenger paid, say $12.50. You got $10. So everything's transparent and upfront. We already think like drivers. You got to start thinking like businessmen. This might not sound like a lot on the business side, but we'll get there. Remember, at some point, your goal is to get thousands of drivers. So up front, daily, $20. getting booking fee per ride, $250. That sounds like millions, guys, down the line. And you could start this probably locally. What I would do is start it in the biggest cities in your state. In my state, it would only be one of three. It'll either be Bridgeport, Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, or the capital city of Hartford, Connecticut. I would launch this. I would get at least 5 drivers, because the goal is you're getting proof of concept. So you just get 5 drivers. Now, on the passenger side, you want the passengers to have the ability to store their driver's information, their favorite driver. Let's say they'll have up to 5 favorite drivers. The app stores the driver's information. You could call your driver through the app only if your driver's app is on. Now, on the driver's side, you have all the passengers' information. That's another thing. The passengers have to list their real information. They have to put in a real screenshot of their real ID. And this is how we're going to get those people that order rides for people. Every single passenger ride has a PIN. So nobody can get over on you. And even if somebody orders a ride for someone, they have to give them that PIN. So we know it's verified on both parties' side what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And for your safety, for your passenger safety, having a PIN eliminates a lot of issues right out the gate. This is something Uber did later, but they should have had this out the gate, and it should have been mandatory. We're going to have this mandatory out the gate, you know, so the customer has to register, and they have to be at least 18 to register on the platform. Now, of course, there are going to be still parents that are hard-headed, and they're going to order rides for other young adults, but at least you know that they have their real PIN. That's for their safety. I think that would eliminate a lot of issues up front. You're going to have a compliance board to go state to state, because every state rules and regulations is different from this. But I think most states, if you're doing it like this, will treat it as you're a platform. So the drivers still have to get their own insurance. That's why you're going to refer it out. You're going to have a company that you could promote through the app, where they could sign up, get insurance company with this insurance company you partner with. They're going to do this if they're smart, because this may be $1 billion idea down the line if you could pull it off. Now, you got the 5 drivers in your state. They're getting rides. They have their favorites. You really think about it, if you have 3 steady passengers, you know, that are going, say, well, I wouldn't say 3, but I would say at least 5 passengers going on average, you know, 20, 30 miles, you're done for the day. Most drivers. It's over $100 a day in 5 hours. Most drivers would say this is a success. And if you can get your 5 drivers to do that, and they're going to have to solicit too. Your 5 drivers are going to have to get the word out, let people know, sign up for this app. What's the benefit of the passenger signing up when there's not enough drivers yet? They're helping build the infrastructure. You're letting them know we're trying to build this out. So the more people you can get to register in the app, now you can go, at some point, you better go after and get funding. I'm positive at this point, because you got proof of concept. Obviously, you got to get your first tech to build you at least a prototype app. Now, as far as the app, I would not try to invent the wheel. I would get a best you can afford in the beginning tech to give you a prototype app, but basically have it default to Google, but allow the drivers to also use Waze and other apps. And don't discriminate against other apps that want to piggyback off your app. You don't want to discriminate. Like Uber and Lyft hate when other companies piggyback and block certain functions. And I remember the app that where you could have both platforms on and it will automatically shut off the other one. They block that. They don't like that. But I would actually work with these other app people. That's going to help get the word out and spread your name. Now, obviously, you're going to have a nice, catchy name. You're going to have a good marketing department. But once you get this company, if you set it up right, and you're able to take it public, and that's automatically the proof of concept you need to take this state to state and get more funding in the process. And hands down, if you lock down New York and California, which I know are the biggest markets and as well as the hardest markets, but if you're able to somehow finagle where you can get in these two states, easily everybody on Lyft and Uber will slowly start jumping ship. Now, is this a 1-year journey? This could be a 5-year journey. But think about it, guys. If you just lock this down in your state, the buzz would be on. You'd be on the news stations and everything because there'd be like a new rideshare company's coming. Even though it's local, you'll start getting on the news platforms, and that's going to help improve your reach. You take it town by town, state by state. You add more drivers. You're providing the drivers with a good policy up front through your partner insurance company. You let them deal with all the headaches with the insurance. You know, you obviously got to have a board that handles all your compliance because, again, every state's going to be different with the laws, regulations. But I'm thinking if you could just get this where it's branded a technology app and not a rideshare app in any way, because you're truly just a middleman at this point. Providing a service, you're charging a flat rate. And you can even take it a step further, because I think it's outrageous what these tech CEOs get paid. In the making of the company, it should be stated in the articles that the CEO not make more than $1 million a year. And not only that, I would say everybody, I wouldn't say necessarily the tech people, but you should have a group of individuals that go out and make it mandatory that they go out and drive once a week or a certain amount of times a month and report back to you what's going on in rideshare. So you should have them on Uber and Lyft. Secretly have them driving for Uber and Lyft and your app and report back to you, okay, we should improve this or we should do that. So you're only improving the app. And stop wasting money. The company should be allowed to expand on technology, but they should not be allowed to spend billions of dollars on unproven technology like this automated car stuff. We know that's 30, 40 years in the future. Invest that money in drivers. And I promise you, how you become $1 billion company later with this is once you take it public. And once a lot of these other drivers on these other platforms start jumping ship, now you got proof of concept to take this statewide or, national or even international. The possibilities are endless. I'm not saying I could pull this off, but this is really to let you guys know to think bigger. We should be coming up with creative ways to solve the problem, not just keep crying. You know what I'm saying? And being an Uber driver, you're more than just an Uber driver. I've been a therapist for a lot of people. I've met new friends through driving. And I tell stories. Somebody said I'll be looking for handouts. A lot of time, if you're just a good storyteller and you can relate to your passenger in any way, like your grandmother died, their grandmother died, you're an Uber driver, their cousin was an Uber driver. I just tell stories, and sometimes people relate to my stories and they want to tip me. I don't know why, and I'm getting in some of my videos where people are saying I'm begging for tips. I don't beg for tips, but there's a strategy. Number one, you gotta have your car clean. My car's clean every day. You know, even though I may dress a little ghetto, I'm clean. I smell clean. The car smells clean. And I'm funny, believe it or not. I make people laugh. So that, and the fact that I could tell stories, makes people want to tip me. I don't know where people get this idea that I'm looking for handouts, because I may tell the story about, I may occasionally tell the passenger, oh, Uber's doing this wrong and they're doing that, you know, and they have a cousin that drives too, and do you guys get tips? And tips will come up in the conversation. And if that's me begging for handouts, if you think that's begging for handouts, that's on you. But tips will come up in the conversation. And I mentioned to one passenger, I was like, if every passenger just tipped $1, I think it would make much of an improvement for the average rideshare driver. And that customer ended up tipping me $3. You know, but we had a great conversation before that as well. I don't think that's begging for handouts. I never tell a passenger, yeah, you should tip. You know, I don't never tell anybody straight up, you really should tip. But I may tell a story around, you know, the idea of people not tipping that has come up in conversation. Some people don't know. I've had elderly women that don't know, even though they paid through the app, they don't know that they think that they have to tip you cash. And I'll be like, no, you can tip through the app. So tips comes up in conversation, you know. But I noticed the older the person, I feel like the higher the tip. It's just a respect thing. I feel like some of these people under 25, they just don't feel they should tip their driver. I think they feel like they should tip their Uber Eats driver because food, you know, connects with tips. But as far as rideshare, I'm sorry, I'm going to spread the word. I think if you're watching this and you're a passenger, you should tip every driver. Unless they do something wrong, I get it. But if you got out of the car and gave that person a 4 or 5 star and you did not tip them at least $1, I don't get insulted by $1. I think some people think they'll get insulted if they only tip a small amount. I've had people tip me $1 and I still appreciate it, for the simple fact they tipped. So it's just one of my ideas that I came up with. But you guys tell me if you think the fees should be different in a perfect rideshare company, or should you charge a booking fee at all? Some of you might think, well, why charge a booking fee at all? I just think that's a small another revenue stream. Honestly, you got to think like the rideshare company is yours. What would you charge? You've already felt what it felt like to be a driver. Now think, what if I could make what if I had the resources to make a better rideshare company myself? What would I put in it? What would I take out? Hit me in the comments. Thank you guys for all your support. Please check out my other videos. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.